an eyebrow there. Did you see that? That was like a baby bye bye bye. Tell you I had enough.
I honestly thought of the Backstreet Boys immediately.
Well, first of all, don't ever confuse Justin Timberlake with the Backstreet Boys. Nick Carter's got nothing on my boy JT. Never did, never will. But holy bejesus, dude. Hikaru is on fire today. Did I not tell you that the Smarter Chess prediction poked the bear? Can someone go through the record of our Slack chat? Maybe Nick can do that and show a screenshot on Twitter to prove it. Yesterday I said that Hikaru would win this match going away in private, and I'm going to say it publicly now.
You did. I was in that.
Thank you. I said the Smarter Chess prediction would poke Hikaru and he would win this match going away.
Yep.
Now, I don't necessarily want that. I'd like to see, I'm a huge Wesley So fan. I'd love Wesley to rebound here, but right now Hikaru is just feeling it.
Yeah, and I always disagree with the Smarter Chess predictions, and well, the one time I was like, oh, that one feels interesting, let's go with it, of course, is the one time where it's not even close.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's not over yet. Obviously, we still have what's probably going to be about 2 more 5-minute games here in the match, and we've got 60 minutes as well as 30 minutes in our Speed Chess Championship Final, presented by Regium. Don't you forget it. But right now, you got to just be blown away with Hikaru Nakamura's chess. And really, I guess, if you're a Wesley So fan, just a little surprised by how much that first loss rattled him, because he just hasn't been playing his best chess since Game 2.
No, he has not. And he has no wins. And that's already a shocking thing, because we're already played 9 games. This is the 10th game of the match, and Wesley just can't buy one.
We got to give a shout out to the second person using the Mixer platform along with Ninja. Code Cow just tipped us $20 for the commentary. Thank you for the donation there. If you enjoy it, please don't be afraid to show us your love. We appreciate that, Code Cow. And I'm just teasing. Mixer's great. I love Mixer. I love mixing. You know what I'm talking about.
Was that actually from Mixer?
There you go. Yep, it was from Mixer, and that's how active the chat is over there.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, I'm kidding. All right, well, back to the game here. What do we got, Robert? No, not an Italian. At first I thought so, but no, definitely a Rui Lopez structure. Second look. A position where I like Wesley's position is white. I mean, but I feel like I've said that more than a few times today, only to see Hikaru grind it out when it matters.
We like the space. When you say you like white's position, the extra space. Look at this pawn. It went from C2 to C5 very quickly.
Yep.
Black's pawn structure is the double C pawns. But the good news for black, and wait a second. I was going to say the good news, but isn't there some kind of knight takes E5 move?
Wait a second. I just did my own Hikaru. I got the ceiling. Knight takes E5. Looks like it wins a pawn. If takes, pawn takes, queen takes H5 check. If takes, bishop D1, we take D7, intermezzo. By the way, people are making fun of me for how I say intermezzo.
Well, it's because you don't speak Italian. I don't speak Italian either, but I'm pretty sure it's intermezzo.
Intermezzo. I understand that. But mezzo sounds like it's in the middle and you missed it.
No, mezzo sounds like Lizzo, and the truth hurts, Danny.
I was going to say, you got nothing on my boy Rizzo. Shout out Jersey Shore.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. Knight takes F8 is going to happen. And in the end, Wesley is not actually up a pawn, but might as well be, because with this 4-on-3 structure, much healthier than anything that black can boast over here on the queen side. So something with F3 or even Knight F5, I guess, if I was playing So. So needs to get a win so badly. So badly.
I like Knight F5.
I love Knight F5.
The thing about these type of positions, even if you get into an opposite colored bishop endgame, it's still much, much better for white because of the spatial advantage.
Yep.
So some people think, oh, opposite colored bishops, that means we're heading towards a draw. Not so fast here. So if Knight F5 and you play G6, I will take you on E7, put my bishop on F4, and claim I have a better pawn structure. You have a target on C7. Is why I think Hikaru played Rook F7. Is just he understood that the king in the center is not going to be too happy either.
And the immediate tempo on the e-pawn might be key to drawing, as Robert said. If takes, now the rook can take, so bishop f4, I think, can be met by bishop takes e4, and we trade an ugly duckling on c7 for a healthy center pawn. So Hikaru trying to defend creatively, so changes the move order to put the bishop on f4 first. We still have to like white here. I mean, I think the activity, the pieces, I start wondering, can white punch e5 through at some point and try to try to do something dirty. But unfortunately, if he doesn't have anything, the long-term position will still be okay for black with the bishop pair.
And so, firstly, it was interesting that Hikaru didn't castle queenside. And,
sorry.
Yep. No, you're right to have that reaction, but it's interesting that he didn't castle queenside. But now, bishop takes f5. There's a knight hanging on f5. But after e takes f6 check, your king has nowhere to go, so you're going to have to sacrifice material back.
And you're just worse, right?
And the reason why you're worse is, you have the analysis put up. So
yep.
Bishop f5,
yep.
e takes f6. You have to go bishop e7 to block.
Yep.
I go rook takes d8 check first.
And then take on e7.
Yep, because you can't take me back with your rook because it's bishop g5 at the end of it.
I love when we complete each other's
chess lines.
Oh, you know me so well. That's exactly why you couldn't take here, because of bishop to g5. And by the way, that is on the board. We can complete each other's all day long.
I'm just going to let you keep on going with your
Wesley
little funny jokes.
Does Wesley So get his first win of the match right here, right? This is his opportunity to kind of right the ship and at least get some positive momentum rolling. Unfortunately, though, Hikaru has gotten himself maybe the best type of endgame to go for a draw, right? Obstacle bishop ending and otherwise pretty equal structure.
Yep. So that extra pawn will need to come as a thorn in black's side if you're going to have any chance of winning this. And I would start by bringing the king in. Bring that king right to g5.
Put it on that spot. King coming into g5. Now the king will go to h6. And actually, again, this is one of those interesting moments where the equalness of the structure doesn't mean there's not entry points. And here we go.
Well, what's the equalness of the structure? Isn't white just up a pawn?
Well, otherwise, though, it's blockaded on the light squares. I'm saying if we're talking obstacle bishop storyline, black has sort of done his job of holding the light squares, but it doesn't mean white doesn't have progress. And now that you've induced h6, you can play h4 and h5 and try to make sure that pawn on h6 is a target, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, wait.
He plays... Ooh. So what about h4 here? Yeah. Going with your idea.
I highlighted
if you take me on f4.
I highlighted it right as you said it.
I wasn't looking at your highlights. But nice haircut. So... Yep. Rook f1 played, similar idea, trying to induce g takes f4 so you can take back and try to get this h6 pawn. But I do like this for black. And the reason why I like this transition is because now at least the rook on e8 has a file to work with. With that pawn on f4, bishop on e5 situation, you were sort of lacking space, lacking any sort of ideas. Now, on the other hand, black's rook will try to journey down the e-file.
Yeah, but white is still up a pawn, as NM Chess Revelation reminds me in the Chess TV chat. So, I mean, if I can play rook h5 and bishop e3, I both block your rook's idea and make sure I'm going to win this weak Peshka over here on h6. I mean, it's, obviously we both agree. It's the type of endgame where black has the most drawing chances possible because the obstacle bishops, and this move is a very good one, by the way. It stops rook h5, as I said. But I'm still thinking Wesley maybe gets his first W here. Just something about the fact that he's got this advantage. He's also not down on time. Wait, the rooks are coming off the board. I completely changed my mind. We're going to get a draw and a hold by Hikaru.
Yeah, you need multiple pieces to team up on like the h6 pawn or in the squares. This is not the way to get it done.
Everything I was saying was under the assumption, which, as we've learned, you should never do that, that the rooks were going to stay on the board. If the rooks were staying on the board, we have very good winning chances as white. Without them on the board, much easier to draw.
Although I like what Wesley's done, because if you take on f6, yes, you trade the rooks, but watch that king dart from f4 over to c7. Yeah. That's something you have to watch out for. Wait, king g5 now.
Well, king g5, and if you take, I take, and I'm gaining a tempo on the bishop, followed by takes h5. I think h5 was a bad move. Hikaru is, that's like I can't believe I just did that kind of shrug. Oh my gosh, yeah. Back to Hikaru number 5. Not to be confused with the Mambo number 5.
And if you take on f6, do you take back with the bishop or the king? And the reason why I think about taking with the king is just so I can run over to the queen side as quickly as possible.
But
wait, rook h6
is just lights out.
This rook h8 check is mate.
Yeah, rook h6 forces the bishop to move, and then you can even take on h5 with a king.